So, good morning, everyone, and for those of you who are in the mornings, and since we're hopefully now on YouTube as well, good evening, good afternoon to people maybe around the world who are watching. And we've had some learning curves to learn how this YouTube and Zoom technology works, and the YouTube was troublesome because somehow YouTube changed the key that was needed to have access, and so it took a while to figure that out. But here we are, and this is the first of these early morning talks I'll be giving this week. And since it's partly because it's 5 mornings, I thought of giving short talks on 5 different aspects of faith, of the word Saddha. And Saddha, it doesn't naturally translate into the English word faith. There are other choices people like. Some people prefer not to use the word faith. They don't relate to it, or some people are actually troubled by the word faith, that we should have faith. So I want to talk about 5 different aspects of Saddha, of faith, if I can use the word provisionally. And these are, the 5 will be faith today, confidence, conviction, trust, and then acceptance. And there's a kind of, these are progressive in a sense, that as practice deepens, that we go through these different stages of faith. That and faith is Saddha in the way that this Saddha is used in the teachings of the Buddha, is really a provisional faith. It's a faith that we believe in something enough to try it out for ourselves, to engage in the practice initially, to be inspired by something. And so both the idea of having something which inspires us, gladdens us, and then motivates us to begin practice, to engage in practice. As we begin practicing and have some experience with practice, that can give birth to confidence. Confidence in our ability to practice, confidence in the value of practicing. And now the part of the fuel for the practice is not inspiration that comes maybe from the outside, but a confidence that begins growing from the inside. As we practice further, that confidence gets transformed into a kind of conviction, which is, confidence maybe is a little bit more also provisional compared to conviction. Conviction is a certainty. This works. This I'm with this. The conviction, with time and more experience, can lead to a profound level of trust. That we trust the practice, we trust the path, we trust the possibilities of freedom that come with the practice, more than anything else. And then with that trust can come a particular form of acceptance, a deep acceptance of presence, and a deep acceptance of what it's like, or to be free, to live in a world without clinging, resistance, without greed, hate, or delusion. A deep acceptance that this is right, this is the way to live. And that's not always an easy thing to accept. There's a lot of internal forces within us, a lot of social forces outside of us that give the impression that no, you have to worry, you have to be angry, you have to want to have things and be attached. And so these 5 steps of faith. And the first one, that I call faith, I like it a lot because I feel that the word faith, more than the other words, is a heartfelt word. I associate it with what we are dedicated to do wholeheartedly, or bring our whole heart, our whole self into something, that which we have faith in. Some people are troubled by the word faith because it implies that we have to believe a creed. I think sometimes in English the word faith is used to imply having faith in a creed, in a set of teachings, which is kind of interpreted to be a blind faith, a blind acceptance, unexamined, unreflective. But it's interesting, I find very interesting, the word believe in English is a kind of European word, and maybe from a Germanic source, that originally meant to believe, to love something. It's what you love, as opposed to what we think nowadays, what we believe. And the idea of what we love, where does our love go? When you look at Buddhism and Buddhist practice, the faith that can be evoked is not so much, or not at all, a belief in a creed, but rather a love for a possibility of a life not rooted in freedom and compassion, but a life which is flowing from sources within of freedom and compassion. And that faith, that kind of falling in love with something or valuing something, can come from many ways. It can come from encountering teachings, Buddhist teachings, and the teachings really speak to us. And for some people, it's the first time when they hear Buddhist teachings, they feel they find someone who addresses suffering at the roots, at the core of it, and offering some possibility of freedom, some possibility resolving or working through the suffering we have. And there, some people will have a big aha, yes, and will be so delighted, so happy to have discovered these kinds of teachings, because no one in their life before has taken this kind of direct, honest look at to talk about the depth of suffering in this world of ours. Sometimes the inspiration, the sense of love, or the delight, or the heart's attraction to this practice comes from meeting someone who seems to embody some of the qualities that seem right for us, or resonate with us in some deep way. This speaks to us. When I was a new practitioner, I met other practitioners whose way of being in the world was so inspiring to me. They seemed to have, some of the things that inspired me was a certain ordinariness that was extraordinary. An ordinariness where there was freedom and ease, a deep acceptance, a deep allowing of this life, almost like life to be lived through us, rather than resisting things or fighting things. So kind of maybe a kind of feeling of naturalness in what we do. And sometimes people come to Buddhism not through faith, but rather out of desperation. Their suffering is so great that not everything else has not worked, and so they think, I'm going to try this too. There's a kind of a claim that this kind of practice works. It seems to be, there are people who seem to do it and seem to be happy or seem to be at peace or something. And I don't know, nothing else makes sense to me, so I'm going to try it. And then there's not much faith in that kind of desperation. It's almost like a giving up. But then at some point, that giving up gives birth to some kind of change, some kind of movement, some kind of letting go or relaxation that is meaningful. And that gives rise to faith. Oh, this works. And I certainly know that happened to me. There was a time in my early years where I kind of crashed out, reached rock bottom, and I kind of mostly just gave up. But the giving up was so, now many years later I can say, so thorough that I let go of so much. And then what followed from that, and that deep letting go, that was something I started to have faith in. Oh, this is a path. This is important. This works. So, and then to believe in that, to the heart sings to it, or the heart feels that nourished or satisfied or inspired by it. And so the Saddha as faith is partly, hopefully, what we can be inspired by, what inspires us and motivates us to practice, to begin our practice, to engage in our practice when it seems everything else seems difficult. It is hopefully a kind of, with maybe initially or over time, something that resonates to our heart's capacity to love, to feel kind of open-heartedness, or where we want to put ourselves wholeheartedly into something, what we put our heart into. And I hope that the people who are involved in Buddhist practice, whether it's meditation or the ethical parts of it or the wisdom parts of it or any part of it, will reflect a little bit about what their heart has faith in, or what their heart believes in. What do you believe in? Or to say it, in a way that I'm talking about today, is what does your heart love? And what is your, and in that sense of what you love, what do you believe in? What do you have? And I love the English word "believe in," the expression "what do you believe in," because we use that for people. We can say that we believe people. I really believe in you is a powerful statement. It means that we have confidence in somebody. We see there's value in who they are. We feel that the direction they're going in their life is a good one, and we value it. So to believe in someone is a wonderful aspect of faith, the expression of it. You have faith in someone else. Say, I have faith in you. And so as you engage in Buddhist practice, I hope that you believe in yourself. I hope that you have faith in yourself. And I hope that that involves some love for yourself and your motivation, inspiration to really show up for yourself, really be present in some deeper way. In some way that really, perhaps, where awareness and this faith is a swelling up, an upwelling from within, as much as it is a practice of observation or engagement of mindfulness or the recognition of our practice, what's happening moment to moment. May it be that you believe in yourself, you have faith in yourself, and that can be channeled through inspiration in the moment-to-moment engagement of meditation, of mindfulness, of compassion, of kindness, of all forms of all aspects of Buddhist practice. May faith be your companion. May faith be your friend and support as you go forth with the practice. So thank you all very much, and for those of you who are just watching here this morning on YouTube, thank you for participating, and we'll start again. We'll do this again tomorrow. Thank you.